Hello everybody, it's Matt the Optimist. Welcome back to my channel, and I would like to discuss my opinions on the LA protests. All I can say is that it's a mess out there. The reason why people are protesting in LA is because they're trying to protest against mass detained actions, illegal actions by ICE. The mass deportations against legal immigrants documented, and that's why they're protesting right now. It's getting really chaotic. It was getting really chaotic over the last couple of days, and I've seen some videos of a few people, not all, burning a couple of cars, throwing rocks at police vehicles, and they don't represent the majority of peaceful protests. Yes, there was some rioting here and there, but the whole city of LA isn't taken over by rioters. The majority of the protests in LA are peaceful. Let's just get it out there for a minute. So, Trump has ordered the National Guard on LA protesters again without the consent of the LA governor, and it's what Trump did was wrong, and what Trump did is illegal, and it's not okay. He sent in the National Guard to attack protesters using rubber bullets against an Australian reporter. Well, that was one of the police officers that did that, not the National Guard. And the National Guard was shooting at the protesters, arresting them, and there was this one video clip where there were some police officers on their horses, and one of them was walking all over that one protester. That's sickening. That's really sickening. It's been really chaotic the last couple of days, and those protesters are just trying to make a difference. They just don't want legal citizens to be deported by ICE. ICE doesn't always identify who they are. They always have their masks on because they know what they're doing is wrong. And I know what they're doing is wrong. And ICE needs to be held accountable for this. They say they're going after illegal immigrants, but they're only going after illegal Americans who are not white. And I think that's obvious. And if you disagree with me, that's on you. Then you must be a really shitty person if you disagree with what I'm saying. There are people, conservatives out there, MAGA cultists, even Trump himself, and many of his followers and his loyalists are calling them insurrectionists for protesting ICE. They're just anti-ICE protests. The majority of protests are peaceful, and they're not harming anybody or threatening anybody or stealing other people's property. They're just trying to protest ICE's illegal actions. Families are getting separated, kidnapped, and targeted by ICE. Some of them are trying to come illegally, and they get deported anyway. They get detained anyway for being Mexican or Latino or whatever. They're targeting anyone who isn't a white person. A lot of conservatives and a lot of ICE people see every immigrant as an illegal. When people are not illegal just because they come in a way the government doesn't like. And that's sickening. I got one follower. That's cool. Nobody should be deported just because of the status, the immigration status. And ICE should not be should be going after violent criminals, not innocent immigrant Americans who just want a better life here. Immigrants don't want to take your jobs. Immigrants are not a threat to this country. This country was founded by immigrants. We're a nation of immigrants for a reason. Legal or illegal, it doesn't matter. It's really sad that so many immigrants are treated like trash and being mistreated by ICE. And this needs to stop. And I got a second follower. I got 2 followers now. Share this video, share this live stream with everyone you know, and keep it going. If you want to leave a comment in the top chat, that's fine too. Conservatives are okay with immigrants being deported if they are here illegally or not, or undocumented. But the problem is that they see every undocumented immigrant as an illegal immigrant. That's stupid. No one is illegal on stolen land anyway. So, and you know what the worst part is? Conservatives value public and private property over human lives. And I lost my followers. That's okay. I'm not going to get very much views anyway. But if I do share this video, then that's fine. But you know what? I don't really care if I get much views or not. So, some people are just looking for an excuse to violate the rights of protesters, violate the First Amendment right to protest, and conservatives want authoritarian regime. Conservatives don't care about free speech. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about immigrants. They care about power and authoritarianism and dictatorship. They want fascism. Fascism is evil. It brings out the worst in people. It brings out the psychopathic in people. Fascism involves abuse of power for a reason. And if people continue to push back against fascism in this country, then they'll surely make a difference. The chair is loud. Yeah, I know. Thanks for responding. This is the first time you responded to my my chat. Move. Nope. Look, even if I don't really care if they come in illegally. I don't care if they come in here legally as well. If you're looking for a better life, I'm with you. Nobody should have to wait years to come in legally. And I'm sure there are people who are here illegally or undocumented and been an American citizen for years. Conservatives think the Constitution only applies to people who are born in this country. They think but a Constitution should apply to everybody, not just people we like or dislike. Okay? Applies to American citizens? Yeah, right. Which they aren't? Yeah, right. Keep telling yourself that. Sorry, Sir Burbanson. You're wrong here. I don't buy what you're saying. People aren't illegal, and I believe that everyone should have a right to live here. If they're struggling in Mexico, and if they're not happy with their lives over there, and if they're being mistreated over there from violence and bad wars and gang violence and all that stuff, they have a right to come here and live in this country, legally or not. And I think they're Americans in my book. And the LA protests are based. They're trying to make a difference. There was some protesting in Chicago too a couple days ago as well. speaking of attacking protesters, one police officer was saying that he would kill protesters if they fight back against them. That's disgusting. He literally just threatened to kill protesters, which is not okay. And I got four followers. Yay! If your life was in danger, would you let them kill you? I don't want anyone to kill me. I don't want anyone to kill me either, to be honest. I don't want anyone to kill anybody, to be honest. Immigrants, if the immigrants' life were in danger, if there are immigrants out there, and what if the immigrants fear for their lives against a police officer? That's the bigger question. A lot of cops out there are dangerous. They care more about protecting property rights over people's lives sometimes, and that should be addressed too. They don't protest in the streets. Shut up, dude. If they want to protest in the streets, that's fine. They did that during the civil rights movement, and they were peaceful. You can be a law-abiding citizen and still fear the police if you want to. There's a lot of bad cops in the world, and the majority, and there are many bad cops out there that would initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who just want to be left alone. All right? And yes, the majority of peaceful protests exists. I saw some pictures of them, and I saw videos of them. A majority of them are peaceful. The people burning a couple of vehicles and a couple of people throwing rocks at police officers don't represent the majority of peaceful protests. That's the sad part. That's the good part. I don't know why I said that's the sad part. They don't represent the majority of peaceful protests. I'm going to say it again. All right? Yep. Do you know what? I think people should have the right to protest the corrupt government. As long as you're not hurting anybody or threatening others. Oh, so also there was this one person who got arrested by telling the officers to uphold their oath. I saw a video of that on Twitter, and that's crazy. Nobody should be arrested for telling police to uphold their oath to the Constitution. Okay? If you're getting arrested for telling officers to uphold their oath, that just means we're living in a fascistic government country right now. I think this country needs to be purged of fascistic politicians. And conservatives are just looking for an excuse to bash protesters' skulls in. Just because they're protesting in a way that the government doesn't like. Conservatives just don't want you to protest anything. And they'll just look for an excuse to violate the protesters' rights. The First Amendment rights, the Fourth Amendment rights, the Fifth Amendment rights, all that stuff. Okay? Sorry if you can hear my chair making noise. My chair is very squeaky. Yeah. You have a right to peaceful. You have a right to a protest as long as you're not throwing rocks at people or rioting or looting. I know this country was founded on looting, like the Boston Tea Party, for example. Personally, there are people out there who loot to make a difference, and there are people who loot just for the sake of looting. Yes, there are rioters who riot because they don't feel heard. What the? Hello, this is Matthew's mother? Resident. I don't know who you are, but my mother is not resident raw. Okay? I'm sorry. Yes, my mother's my legal guardian, and it's nobody's business. Okay? Don't mess with my mama. Don't use my mother in vain like that, Resident Rock. It cool. Don't worry about it. Okay, I hit her. Yeah. Yeah, that was something. There are rioters out there who riot because they feel like their voices are being unheard. And yet there are also rioters out there who riot just to cause chaos for no reason. And that's not okay. If you feel like your voice is unheard, then go ahead and riot. You will get arrested for it, though. There are consequences to that. Civil disobedience exists. And if it's worth getting arrested, then so be it. You know? That's just me. Sorry, sir, Suburbanson. I think your takes are a bit atrocious. That's just me. 4 followers, huh? And 1 like. That's cool. How many of you have experienced being in a protest and being unfairly and unlawfully arrested by police? And they got 0. Back to square one. Oh well. Oh, we got another one. So yeah, there's a lot of chaos out there lately. I don't know what else to talk about. All I know is that take your phones with you, record all the peaceful protests out there, show conservatives that you represent the majority of peaceful protests. If you see any rioting, just do your best to avoid them and try to stay safe, stay away from them. Because some rioters can be pretty dangerous, and they can't be reasoned with. They don't represent the majority of peaceful protests anyway, so. And conservatives act like the majority of protests are riots and will look for an excuse to defend the police bashing innocent protesters' skulling, which is just as horrible. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want anyone to be accused of rioting or looting. And if that continues, then people are gonna use their Second Amendment rights to defend themselves against the police. I hope people exercise rights to fight back against the police if need be, should the need arise. I don't mind people defending themselves against the police if the police go rogue like they often do and violate your rights altogether and try to unlawfully arrest you. It's okay to use your Second Amendment rights to defend yourself against bad cops and bad police officers or the National Guard if you have to. If government is capable of using bad force, using lethal force against their own citizens, then don't be surprised when the American people does the exact same thing to you back. An eye for an eye. You know? Fight back. Defend yourself. If it's worth getting you killed, at least you went out fighting. At least you made a difference. Fighting for freedom and liberty against a tyrannical government. You know? Oh, I got 5 followers. Yay. So, yeah, this country was built on protests like the suffragette movement, the civil rights movement. It's all kinds of chaos out there. And it's really something. I mean, now. You know what? Oh, I went back to 2. Okay. This is really getting fun for me to talk about politics like this. I've been watching some progressive YouTubers talking about the LA protests, and it's really chaotic. It was really chaotic when I saw those videos with the Humanist reporting on it, Vosh and Sandoval reporting on it, Steve Shives was reporting on it, Jesse Gender was reporting on it a little bit. Lee Major was talking about it. Or was it Lee Marger or Lee Marger or Leah Marger? I don't know who it was. I can't remember her name. But it is what it is. They're speaking out, speaking up, and they're making a difference. They're calling out conservatives for their actions. They're calling out the government for their actions. And damn it, I'm proud of them. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, share this video with everyone you know, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your aunts, your dads, your moms, your grandparents. Only the ones who are progressive. Don't share it to conservatives because they'll use whatever they can to make fun of me and lie about me and strawman me and make me look stupid. So don't show this to your conservative relatives or friends or whatever, because they're not worth having them in my chat. So there's that. Anyway, I'm Matt the Optimist. Peace, the Frel out, and have a good day. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye.